Hi there, traders, and welcome to Trade the Structure. Now, I'm just going to go over the ASX share list for the end of the week. I've got some new ones on there, and I've updated the old list as well. You'll see that on the members area of the website. So check that out just for ones that I've taken out and the ones that are still remaining. And then I'll update the new list on there as well. I'll go through all the bits and pieces I'm going to look at and just the reasoning why I actually like them and what I'm looking for. Okay, and then potential areas that I'm looking to trade into. And then that'll obviously be on the website as well in the members area. So let's get started. We'll start off with Jade Gas Holdings, JGH. Okay, so obviously that one's starting to kick off a massive spike in volume. That was back on the 4th of October. And then what it's done is actually had a bit of a pullback. So it's flushed out anyone that, what we call the weak hands. Cleaned out a few weak hands and a pullback to the MAs, which is around the 7 cent mark. And we're now just trading back up towards 8.5, towards the 10 cent mark. So I'm expecting that one, if the way it's actually pulled back had a shallow pullback, I'm expecting that to kick on. So there's a chance that, we get that secondary leg higher. So if that's the first leg there, we can start to get a secondary leg higher and start to push up through 10 cents. Now, just be careful of that 10 cent mark because they go from 0.01 moves to 0.05. So they tend to trade through that 10 cent mark and just chop it around, take small gains. Anyone that's just buying, say, 9.5, 9.67, flick it through and sell at 10.5 or even between. So we'll keep an eye on that one. It still looks pretty good on the daily chart. Let's go over to the next one. IXR, Ionic Rare Earths. So longer term, that's had a bit of a run up right up until probably March this year. It got sold down pretty hard. Found a bit of a base, okay, not so much a base, but found a low. So it's found a couple of lows at 2 cents, flushed that, and then it's been building since. And the good thing is it's holding off the MAs. We've got a little bit of an increase in volume when it starts to lift. So it's getting bought up. It pulls back to the MA. The volumes are light and it starts to lift. It's getting bought up again. So you can see that it's starting to get a bit of a run on. We've got a recent high low at around 3.5 cents. And I'd expect that I wouldn't be buying it here. Obviously, I'm looking for another pullback, see if we can sit on top of the MAs again, potentially see if we can sit back around this zone here for 4.5 cents, not 4.5, 4.6. So if we can pull back there and start to lift again, and then eventually I expect to get a bit of a run on, build that momentum for a push through the highs. Next one, ERW. Okay, it's a little resources stock. Now, a lot of them you've got to be careful. I think this is one of them. Just be careful of the volumes when you're trading it. They may not be big volumes. I'm talking about the price action, the price structure, why I like it. So if you're looking for it, don't throw too much at it, I guess. But either way, this one here has had a nice sort of base through, is it 18 cents or so? It's kept pushing into 18, kept getting protected at 18 cents or defended. Buyers have defended there, then had another higher low, which I like to see. Okay, so that higher low is around the 22, 23 cent mark, and it's now lifting again. So really what I'd be looking for is that potentially pop into highs, pull back to reset, and then see if we can set up again. Okay, if we can have a bit of a pullback, and then on shallow light volume, it pulls back. I'm not sure where at the moment. I just want to see this kind of a price action play out. Sorry. And if that starts to play out, we get this inside high low to work from. Then I think that's going to take us up and through the new highs. FFG, Fatfish Group. Now that's just a it's had some really good volume, good spike. It spiked out of some lows there. We just build it up a bit off the lows around 4.5 cents, 5 cents, and it's spiked up in there. So really it's about whether or not this one can sort of sustain a higher level, consolidate below 8 cents or so, and then lift. Okay, you're really looking for that volume to be added if it's going to start to lift. Okay, but this is really early stages on this one. But I think the fact that it's actually popped up again out of this consolidation range on some good volume is showing that potentially it's going to get a bit of a run on, but we'll have to wait and see. RVR, Red River Resources, that's another one. So really, it's a longer term play here that we're looking at. You can see that had a good run up, and then we've started to back off. So that's your leg up, that's your contraction or your pullback, you might want to call it, and then we're starting to lift again. So really, I'm just looking to see if this can hold the MAs on the daily especially, and can start to get a bit of a run on here. So I'm looking for that high low to stick. If it starts to lift up again, back up to 23, then you've got a high low confirmed. Looking for that breakout there, and you know exactly where your risk is going to be. Somewhere around, I'd be happy with my risk below 20 cents if we can get that breakout and see if that leg up can take us. That's your first leg up there. If that starts to expand up, that leg up, I would expect that to carry on to the highs, 32, because it's so near the highs. Okay, And it's had good little volume on this. You can see that volume start to pick up on this little spike up, a bit of a volume flush. It's pulled back, lighter volume, and it's starting to lift again. So it's starting to lift on higher volume. That's something you want to see. Okay, AGE, Alligator Energy. Yeah, it's the same sort of thing. It's had a good run up. Okay, we're in pullback mode, consolidation mode. It's contraction, we call it. Okay, I like to say contraction. It's holding some higher levels, which is great to see. You've seen these sort of higher levels hold. I don't want to buy it down here now. There's a reasoning for that because it's also holding lower highs. So, I mean, if you're going to buy it off this low, say when it pushes back into this support zone or around about there, but round about here, if you're just buying it there without any confirmation it's going to head higher, then it could just as easily turn and head south as it could break higher. Okay, what you ideally want to see, if I was going to short this, it'd be a case of looking for this kind of price action. Okay, don't short it here. Wait till it pulls back. Everyone that's looking to buy it, bought it there, was expecting it. Okay, that's just a flush. It pops up, builds a lower high, and then takes them out. Okay, so that secondary leg down is going to be the squeeze. Okay, and it's the same for the upside. If you're looking for a bit of a break for the upside, you want to see it break and then go. Okay, so that initial break there is going to catch some buyers off guard. They're going to be watching it closely. Okay, I don't ever want to chase the market. I want to see confirmation. That break up there could be confirmation. It may not. It may be a flush. You don't know. But as soon as it starts to get supported at a higher level, that's where I want to take action. Okay, next one we'll look at is MNB, Minbos Resources. Okay, again, I guess it's going to be very light on the volume. You can see that it is just heading higher. You've had this run up here, pull back, consolidation at the MAs, start to lift again. So I'm just looking for that consolidation at the MAs again, really, and if it can start to lift up that level there. Okay, so that's what I don't really want to see broken. It's the previous highs. It's around 16 cents. So if it can start to lift off there, ideally we get something like this. We get a bit of a pop up here, maybe some consolidation like that minor level, and then go something like this. Okay, ideally this is what I'd be looking for. Okay, it starts to pop up, hold, and go again. Okay, so you know exactly where you're going to put your risk. PVW is PVW Resources Limited. So that there, it's had a bit of a pop up. It's consolidating the highs at the moment. So I'm not necessarily wanting to jump in right here. I want to see a high level. So at the moment, all we got is a bit of a spike up, pull back, pop up, pull back. So it's really going sideways in this kind of a range at the moment. Ideally, what I want to see is start to see it, keep attacking the highs, but if it backs off, I want to get it supported at higher levels. And I think that will eventually drag in some buyers as sellers start to give up, or as anyone that's potentially looking to take some profit may sit and wait, whether it's new sellers or it's actually profit takers up here. Just every time it reverses back off that level, they're getting spooked, they're getting squeezed out, and it turns around and rallies back up. Sooner or later, if they haven't sold and it's holding higher levels into the zone, you'll probably find that they will just step aside, see if it can actually run higher. Okay, and what that'll also do is bring in those breakout traders and see if they can get that bit of a spike as well. IGO, longer term, I think this is looking pretty good. You've seen similar kind of price action. It's kind of what we were just talking about on the last one, holding higher levels. You can see, get that up there, holding a higher level here after sort of flushing through. Stop clicking on that button there. There we go. So it's ranging sort of, it's traded into this area around 852, traded again, flushed it straight back up again. And now the second time it's pushed down after flush, it's held a high level at 8.9, $8.90. And now we're back up to the highs around 10. Now, I'd eventually expect this, same sort of scenario. If we can back off and just start to hold this level, consolidate the highs, I think sooner or later that'll break higher. Okay. And as long as you get some volume, start to stick in and start to push, that trend is up. The weekly trend is up. The daily trend is consolidating. After this push up here, consolidating those highs, it consolidates the highs, it makes that breakout kind of stronger. PGY, Pilot Energy, is another one. It's a small one. I'm expecting that's your leg up here. Then we've had a bit of a pullback, and you can see it's been, consolidating, and we've just spiked up. Okay, so we can see that's a zone that people are happy to buy, and then we've got a higher level starting to pop up as well. All right, and it's broken the anchor to not really the anchor to the downtrend, but at that stage, that was a key level. Push down. If sellers were strong, it was going to hold that lower high and it was going to extend down through that 5 cent mark, but it didn't. It started to get bought up again off 5 cents, and now we've got that break up and through 7 cents. It's pulled back, it's held the high level at 5.5, and we're starting to go again. So really, it's just a matter of, for me, if we can start to break up and out, then I think if we can get a high low to work from, that's going to trade up and through 10 cents, and you've got a good little target up there. Okay, next one, ZEO, Z-E-O. Much the same. It's had a run up there. Okay, big leg up, pull back, consolidate. So what it's doing, it's spent some time squeezing out some buyers, whether they're late buys in this little spike or earlier, people locking away some gains. Spent some time there, held through that 7 cent mark, and it's starting to lift. You can see it's quite clear. We've got a bit of a leg up there. It's not as, it's not exactly what you want to see. You want to see it sort of pop up, consolidate, higher levels. You don't really want to see those deeper pullbacks, but it has been a bit of a grind lately into these highs. So we're just going to keep an eye on that. I think the fact if I can see it pop up and through, and then it pulls back to hold, then I'll be looking to get involved in that. For now, just buying off this level here. It's not confirmation. This could be a double top. It's not confirmation that it's going to hold. The trend is up. It's intact, but it's nothing like the previous trends. Spike high, consolidate, spike higher, consolidate, minor pullback, another spike higher. Okay, this could be quite strong. If it does, if we start to get a bit of a pop through, a pause, and then go, it could be a strong move up, okay? We want to see that volume increase as well on the way up. But at the moment, it's just not doing it. It's more of a bit of a grind higher, but it's something to keep an eye on. It's got that nice structure as well. NC6, so Nanolos Limited, if I've got that right. We've had a nice base build through there after this big spike up back in the start of 2021, start of this year. Built a nice little base through 8.5 cents, and it's starting to lift. So it's got through 10. It's retesting sort of that 10, 11 mark. If we start to hold in here, what I'd like to see is a bit of a hold, held that higher level, and then start to lift and hold the MAs on the way up. So really just want to see some consolidation around the MAs and see if it can start to lift again. GTR, okay, GTI Resources, it's looking pretty good as well. I mean, remember, all these are smaller stocks. They're not anything fancy, but it's, just watch the volume in these. That one there, GTI, has held this 1.7 mark. It's starting to lift. So you've got this spike higher. It's had a pullback to flush some buyers out, and now consolidating again. So it's going into a bit of a consolidation mode. If it can start to lift from this level and hold, start to lift through these highs, I'm sort of looking at this as boxing up, okay? So not the fact that I want to buy the break there. It's more interested in that holding and that level breaking, okay? If that can break there, then I know that I've got somewhere to put my risk, and I would expect a secondary leg up. I would expect this sort of leg to really power on, okay? And see if it can get up through those highs at 5 cents and start to work its way up to 10 cents. Last one, FCT, First Wave Cloud Technology. Now, it's coming off this double bottom, okay, longer term. Now, it doesn't mean that if you go back to a weekly, you just got to be careful of this one. Let's just get that up a bit better. The weekly's been smack down, but this is kind of the first time when it's really held a double bottom and started to work. It was holding a bit here, but it was still holding this downtrend. If you can see just in here, it was trying to hold it in there after a flush, held a few times, but then selling was too strong. It really wasn't an uptrend. It was still holding lower highs, and then it powered through. Then we've had this big move up, push down, and now we're starting to take out, if you go back to the daily, excuse me, we're starting to take out the anchor to the downtrend. And the anchor to the downtrend for me was just in here. Okay, so we've pushed down. This trend down was anchored at this level at that stage, pushed down, started to hold. We've taken that out. Now, to me, we're just going to try to hold the MAs. If we can hold the MAs and start to lift from here, roughly these current levels, then I think that could be a nice little trend up. It could start to build. Okay, and that's because we've got this double bottom, this big base. So it seems to be a line in the sand at 6 cents. We just want to see if that can continue. Okay, that's it from me. Remember, if you do like the video, give us a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe to the channel. It'd be much appreciated. Give us a like, and we'll see you next week for the next update. Cheers, guys. Bye.